Meanwhile, at Moscow. All right, we've got something going on over in Moscow. We've got a little bit of a documentary that's coming out here, and I saw the trailer. And last night, I stayed up way too late watching an interview with Doug Wilson and a guy by the name of Michael Foster, who I think I've actually talked about once before, and talking about a conversation that they had about patriarchy and what manhood is, and all that kind of stuff. Well, they have another documentary coming out, and it's called "It's Good. It's Good to Be a Man." So they've got this documentary. It's coming out on their Canon Press, and if any of you are subscribed to Canon Press, I am shocked and appalled. But let's give it a listen, and who knows? Maybe they've got some good things to say.
I don't care if you're talking to a purple hair feminist or a guy that could bench press 400 pounds. Everyone's saying the same thing, that our young men in this country, they're not doing well.
I mean,
Now,
there
some
are.
are comfortable being effeminate, but many are looking for guides. There's these guys.
Whoa, wait. Right off the bat, just there are people who are comfortable being effeminate. Like definitions. Definitions are helpful, people. It is helpful to have a little bit of just understanding of what people are meaning. But this is par for the course here with all the people over at Moscow. They do this thing where they're like, "Oh, we're reasonable. Oh, we're going to be reasonable, and we're going to evaluate culture, and we're going to take a look at things." And then all of a sudden, they're just like, "Oh, that person sucks." And like, there's no nuance to it. There's no like reason why. It's just like that, and it's like the strongest way that you possibly could have said that. And it's wrong. Like a lot of times it's just wrong. And here is when that happened once again, where you're just like, there's guys out there and they're just okay with being effeminate, and you just move on. And what does it mean to be effeminate? Well, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? Like all of this stuff, when we start talking about manhood and womanhood, certainly there are principles that we see in scripture that we can get general ideas about what that looks like. But these guys, they're not okay with generalities. They don't want the gray. They want black and white. They want to get in and find out exactly what it means. So do you wear, a dress shirt tucked in, or do you leave it out? What is biblical manhood on that? Like that's where these guys are focused. They want to answer the questions instead of having any tension with it. So like the whole idea about like, oh, there are guys that are just fine with being effeminate. While that could be true, right? We need to have some definitions on this stuff before we're just like, and like, what do you mean like some, and how much does that look like? And because I have a feeling it's more than what you and I would probably think.
That tell them the truth, that there was a world before feminism, and this is how women work. And some of it's good, a lot of it's really bad.
All right. So a world before feminism. A world before feminism. So what that means is that we need to get back, right? Like feminism is then the enemy. And again, we don't have definitions. And, to be fair, like this is a trailer. So like maybe in the documentary, they're going to give some definitions, but I've heard some of those definitions before from these guys, and I do not agree with their definitions on a lot of this stuff. But feminism is then the enemy. So what that means for them a lot of times is everything that came with it. Now, you don't have to agree with everything about feminism and what that brought into the country, and, like everything surrounding that, and sexual freedom, and like all this kind of stuff that did come with feminism in North America. You don't have to agree with all of that, but doesn't also mean that everything that came with it is evil and to be rejected. And a lot of these guys go that far, and they're like, we need to fight back against this thing. We've lost the war, but we need to start winning some of these smaller battles and have another war, essentially.
When they take that red pill and see the world for what it is, they get angry.
Okay. Couple of things. I'm just breaking this down like phrase by phrase. But this red pill stuff. Oh, red pill, like, can we please just stop with this like Matrix stuff? Like, oh my goodness. The Matrix, it isn't even that good, okay? Like, it is not, you shouldn't use it as like a lens to see the world. Like, all these people, they're always talking about how, oh, that's red pill thinking. And I'm just like, I have no idea what you mean. And also the Matrix kind of sucked. like, there's some good moments. But come on, Matrix Revolutions, are you serious? I'm off track. But like these guys are always doing that. And what they're saying is that there are men here who are angry because they learned something. Like they saw the world for how it really is. And what that is coddling. All right. There are men. I have come to learn here on YouTube. There are a large contingent of men who are younger, who are single, and they are not happy about it. Okay. And they are vicious and cruel and just mean, and they're very lonely. And I think that's probably why they're so mean and vicious and cruel. So I admit that there is that, but is that based off of reality? Like these individuals who feel that way, is that real? Because Michael Foster is saying that it is, that these guys are just realizing that there was a beautiful world, like as if everything was just like great before feminism. Maybe for dudes. Like, come on. But they're just like, oh, it was so much better back then, and we need to get back to that. And these young men are waking up. They're waking up to this idea that we need to get back to that time frame. And so they're just ticked off because, they can't get back there, and they're wondering what their life is going to be like now that they're in this future world, this barren wasteland called feminism. It's not reality. Like in fact, people are generally the same. All these historians who like to go and be like, oh, this generation is so different. And this generation is like that generation and that generation before. And it goes back hundreds of years. And you can see these people are generally the same. They just go through the same kind of stuff and they react pretty similarly. So like, I just don't buy into any of that stuff. When we're talking, like, certainly there are some differences, of having a generation that knew how to fix computers. That's something I've realized. This generation now, my kids don't know how to do anything with a computer. And I was fixing computers when I was like 10 years old. And like, because that was a necessity. If I wanted to do anything, if I wanted to be able to hang out with my friends on MSN Messenger, I had to figure out how to get the internet into this thing, this Apple computer with its orange, backing and everything. Like, I had to figure that out. So there are some differences because of the different experiences that we have, but as people, we're generally the same. And I don't think that it's all that different for, single people today as it was a decade ago, other than different mediums to do the things of dating and, meeting people and what does it look like to like figure all that stuff out. I just think it's generally the same, but these people are like, no, it's not. And I think part of that is just coddling people to make them feel special. Like, that's what Jordan Peterson does Did I get it right this time? I always have to second guess myself. I'm sorry if I keep on saying it. It's Justin Peters, Jordan Peterson. But that guy, he does it. Joe Rogan does it, where they're just trying to make this demographic that they're really trying to serve, make them feel special. Like you're different. You're unique. You're going through things that no one else has gone through. And that's what Michael Foster and the guys here at Moscow are trying to do. They're trying to make these people feel unique and trying to be like, we get it. We understand you. You could rely on us. Like we can figure this out together. And really all they're doing is selling a product. It's marketing. It's a lot of what I see in evangelicalism today is marketing. And it's kind of sad because there's so much more that we could give people. But what I see most often is just like trying to get different demographics. And this just seems like more of that. I'm going to say it. Hey, we got 38 people here in the chat right now. Hop into the chat. Let me know what you think. At the end of the show, we're going to go back through and I'll be picking out some of these comments and we'll be hanging out for a while. We're going to have the streams are going to be a little bit longer from now on. But hop into the chat. Also, if you're here and you like the channel, do me a solid. Don't do it over on this Canon Press video. But there's a button right here. You can like the video. And that does me like a huge favor of just being like, hey, maybe other people will like this content too. But don't like Canon Press's video. Let's keep watching.
Angry because I won't be able to have what my grandfather had. Yeah,
you're
had
unique.
A bad deal, and these things aren't all your fault, but you're still responsible for your response to the time that God has put you.
I will agree with that. You are still responsible for the time that you've been put in.
So we want to help you to pave a way forward. We're going where Nehemiah took the people of Israel. They didn't rebuild Jerusalem in a night, but they were able to rebuild a wall. Together, we're going to fight with God against the sin in our own heart, the sin in this world, and we're going to be the men He made us to be. So let's do it.
Wait a second.
So let's do it.
Go on back a little bit.
We're going to be the men He made us to be.
Oh, junk. We're wearing the same shirt. No! me and Mr. Masculinity are wearing the same shirt tonight.
He made us to be.
Oh, junk. You don't get to see the logo anymore. All right. See, people from Moscow who keep on commenting on my videos, calling me effeminate. I'm wearing the same stuff as your guy. Yeah. Fighting with God. All right. God doesn't need your help. I'm sorry. Like that might be like the Calvinist in me. But God doesn't need your help to win. And what is this war that you're fighting? Because I thought we were supposed to make disciples. And at no point in this trailer did I hear anything about Jesus. Did I hear anything about what Jesus wants for you to live your life? Just poor you live in the wrong time, but we're going to make the best of it, okay? As long as you buy my stuff. You watch my documentary, you sign up for my stuff, and then we'll figure this thing out. But also don't contact me because you really should have your own elders. And, it's always that kind of stuff. But we're going to fight with God to win the culture back, essentially. This is just more culture war stuff. All right? That's really all it is. And let's see, is there anything else?
So let's do it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter who you talk to. Sorry, I was going to go a really bad direction.
Yep. I doubt that, taking a second take really helped in that. I think it probably will end up going in a bad direction. Oh, yeah? Well, get your own YouTube then. Oh, hey, you made it all the way through the video. That's actually kind of shocking. Hey, if you did, that means that you probably like it, so might as well hit the like button, right? Also, you can go over here and click on a video. I don't know what it is, but YouTube will be like, hey, you should watch this, and maybe they know. Maybe the algorithm is right. Maybe AI knows everything. Maybe it's taking over the world. I think it's taking over the world.